Favor was the kind of woman who turned heads, not because of flashy clothes or loud behavior, but because of her quiet confidence and grace. At 29, she had built a life she was proud of, a good job as an accountant, a strong relationship with God, and a reputation of integrity. People often admired her calm demeanor, though some thought she was too rigid. Her friends Sarah and Ada didn't shy away from teasing her about it. Favor, this your white garment of holiness no fit stain o, Sarah joked one afternoon. But sha, when will you finally leave the singles ministry? Favor laughed softly. When God sends the right man, I'll let you know. Until then, I am not in a hurry. Ada rolled her eyes. Favor, abeg, if you don't loosen up a little, that right man might pass you by. Men like woman who can spice it up. Favor just smiled. She wasn't in the business of explaining herself to anyone. One Sunday afternoon, after service, Ada rushed over to her with a big grin. Favor, meet Tunde, she said, gesturing towards a tall red-dressed man standing nearby. He is my brother's friend and he just moved to Lagos. He's looking for a church, so I told him about ours. Tunde flashed a charming smile as he extended his hand. It's a pleasure to meet you. Favor, Ada has told me great things about you. Favor nodded politely. Welcome to our church. I hope you feel at home here. Tunde wasn't just polite, he was persistent. Week after week, he showed up at church, always finding a reason to sit near Favor or join her conversations. Slowly but surely, he worked his way into her life. After a few weeks, Tunde made his move. Favor, I admire you, he said one evening after Bible study. Your faith, your values, you're exactly the kind of woman I've prayed for. At first, Favor was hesitant. She wasn't one to rush into relationships, but Tunde seems genuine. He was kind, attentive, and shared her love for God, or so it seems. Eventually, she decided to give him a chance. At first, it felt like she had made the right choice. Tunde called her every evening, prayed with her over the phone, and even sent her little gifts to brighten her day. Sarah and Ada couldn't stop teasing her. Favor don finally get man o, Sarah laughed. We need to start planning the wedding o. Favor smiled but kept her guard up. She wanted to take things slowly, but cracks started to appear. One evening, Tunde casually said, you should try dressing more like Sarah sometimes. She knows how to switch it up. Favor frowned. What's wrong with the way I dress? Tunde chuckled. Nothing, no. I'm just saying, you could add a little spice. Don't be too serious all the time. Favor brushed it off, but the comment lingered in her mind. A few weeks later, Ada called her with a serious tone. Favor, can we talk? It's about Tunde. Favor's stomach tightened. What is it? Ada hesitated. I've been hearing things. He's been talking about you behind your back, saying you are too rigid and not as godly as you pretend to be. He even called you lazy. Favor froze. Lazy? Me? Ada sighed. I didn't want to tell you, but I think you deserve to know. He has also been flirting with Sarah. Favor couldn't believe her ears. Tunde, the man who claimed to admire her values, was now badmouthing her and chasing her friends. She decided to confront Sarah. When Favor asked Sarah about Tunde, Sarah confessed. Favor, see, I'm so sorry. He's been asking me out behind your back. I told him no, but he's been saying horrible things about you. That you are not the wife material. You are too boring for him. Favor felt a wave of betrayal but kept her composure. Thank you for being honest, Sarah, she said. Now it's time I confront him. Sitting alone in her room that night, Favor replayed all the moments they had shared. The way Tunde had prayed with her over the phone, the way he had complimented her smile, the way he seemed so patient and kind. Had it all been lying? Had he been wearing a mask the entire time? Favor didn't cry immediately. Instead, she sat there staring at the wall, trying to understand how she had missed the sign. Maybe she had been too naive, too trusting. People had always said she wore her purity and faith like a badge, but maybe that made her an easy target. Maybe she had been so focused on building a relationship that she didn't even notice it was one-sided. Her phone buzzed with a text from Tunde. Hey babe, Just checking in to see how you're doing. Hope you're good. Miss you. She stared at the message for a long time, her hands trembling. How could he act so normal? How could he pretend everything was fine when he had been disrespecting her behind her back? Favor made a decision then and there. She needed to say things for herself. She needed closure, not just whispers and rumors. That evening, she drove to Tunde's apartment. The journey felt like an eternity. Her heart pounding with every mile. Memories of their time together flooded her mind. Their long conversations about life, their shared prayers for the future. She had truly believed they were building something real. When she arrived, she hesitated at the door. Part of her wanted to turn around and go home to preserve whatever dignity she had left. But something inside her pushed forward. She still had the spare key he had given her, so she unlocked the door and stepped inside. The living room was quiet, but something felt off. A pair of women's shoes sat neatly by the door. Shoes she didn't recognize. Her stomach dropped. She took a shaky breath and walked towards the room. Her hand trembled as she pushed the door open. And there he was, Tunde, the man she had trusted, the man she had prayed for, was in bed with another woman. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Favor felt a wave of emotion all at once: shock, anger, sadness, and an overwhelming sense of betrayal. Her chest tightened as she stared at the scene in front of her, trying to make sense of it. Tunde jumped up, scrambling to cover himself. Favor, it's not what it looks like, he stammered. The other woman, clearly embarrassed, quickly grabbed her clothes and fled the room without saying a word. Favor didn't move. She just stood there, staring at him. Her mind raced with all the moments she had defended him to her friends, the time she had convinced herself it was different, the prayer she had said for their future. And yet, here he was, proving to her that he was exactly the opposite of everything he claimed to be. When she finally spoke, her voice was calm but cold. Not what it looks like. Tunde, you are in bed with another woman. What else could it possibly be? Tunde tried to step towards her, but she raised a hand to stop him. Don't, she said firmly. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. Favor, listen. It's just that you've been so busy with church and work. I felt neglected. Favor let out a bitter laugh, though it felt more like a sob caught in her throat. Neglected? That's your excuse? While I was busy praying for you and building us, you were busy tearing me down behind my back and sleeping with other women? Tunde had no response. He simply stood there, looking at her like a child caught stealing candy. Favor took a deep breath, willing herself to stay strong. You know what, Tunde? Men like you are the reason people say men will stain your white, but I refuse to let you stain mine. With that, she turned and walked out, tears streaming down her face as she left the apartment. Favor didn't cry. She refused to let Tunde's betrayal define her. Instead, she focused on herself, her faith, her family, and her future. Sarah and Ada stood by her, apologizing for not telling her sooner. You are stronger than I could ever be, Ada said one day. Favor smiled. It's not strength, it's knowing my worth. Today's actions don't define me. I'm better off without him. Favor refused to let the pain of betrayal define her. She spent time healing, praying, and rediscovering herself. Slowly, she began to see today's actions as a blessing in disguise, proof that God had protected her from a man who didn't deserve her. She poured her energy into her passion, starting small pastry business that quickly gained population in her community. For the first time in years, Favor felt free to be herself and to dream again. One day, she overheard some women gossiping about Tunde's latest drama. Apparently, his lies had caught up with him, and another woman had exposed him in public. Favor smiled to herself. She no longer carried the burden of his betrayal. As she walked home that evening, she thought about how far she had come. With a quiet confidence, she whispered to herself, "No man will ever stain my whites." And she meant it. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Check out our page for more captivating tales and relatable life stories. Why settle for boring when you can have a sizzling hot and extra juicy here? Bye.